our ability to minister to more people before they show up. The Church of God's Dreams has an awareness that new people are coming, and they already have a plan on what they're going to do with them when they get there before they arrive. That has come because I've been a part of growing churches, and people came and they got all excited. But when they got there, we really didn't have any, hey, thanks for coming, get in the crowd. We didn't have any kind of a plan on what we're going to do with these people. We weren't developing leaders before we needed them. We weren't developing capacity in ministry areas before people showed up. Instead, we would just lead it as we always have, and next thing we knew, new people came. Well, we weren't ready for them. So this whole section is all about broadening our ability to minister to people before they show up. Have you ever been invited to somebody's house for dinner, and you get it on your phone, you get it on your calendar, and the night comes and you pull in the driveway and you walk up to the door, you knock on the door, hey, we're here for dinner. And they have that look and they go, what are you talking about? Oh, well, our calendar, we had that we're having dinner tonight here. We forgot to cook. We totally forgot. We didn't even cook the meal. I'm so sorry. I mean, come on in. I guess we can order some pizza or something. How would that make you feel?
Well, rather surprised and embarrassed about it too.
That's right. That's happened to me. Being invited to somebody's house and they forgot it was on Tuesday night. And you show up and it's so embarrassing. You almost feel like you're just interrupting their family. And then they are going to do something because they're obliged to because you're there. We have this guy in our community, maybe you do. He delivers frozen meat out of a truck. He doesn't ever call, and I don't even know who he is, but every so often, right about 6 o'clock, right during dinner, we get a knock on the door, the doorbell rings. Hey, I'm from so-and-so, and I have frozen meats. Would you guys like to buy some? And I'm like, sir, it is dinner time, and I didn't know you were coming. In fact, I wasn't expecting you coming, and you're interrupting what I'm doing here. That's what I call a visitor. A visitor is someone you had no plan, you had no anticipation, you had no preparation. And unfortunately, that sounds quite a bit like my past experiences in ministry. Maybe you've experienced the same, where, everything was boiled and poured into the worship service itself. But boy, we just didn't quite follow through. It's almost like inviting people to a meal, and then we forgot we even told them to come, and we're shocked that they're there. That's a visitor. But a guest, man, that's a whole nother deal. So after lunch on Saturday, we talk about the difference between viewing people as a visitor versus viewing people as a guest. Janice Braschler is my mom. She taught me at an early age the difference. We had a missionary coming to our home, and 2 weeks before that man was supposed to stay at our house, she called him in Guatemala and said, what kind of food do you like to eat? Do you sleep on a feather pillow, or what kind of, do you have any allergies? Do you eat breakfast? Do you eat a big breakfast, small breakfast? She had all of these questions just to make sure that when he walked in the house, it was ready. Well, then, 2 weeks before he comes, as kids, we had to clean our room, even under the bed. I don't know what the deal was with that. I mean, you usually when you're clean, you just shove it under the bed.
Right.
Oh no, we had to clean it under the bed. We had to organize our shoes in the closet. And then my parents washed all the sheets and the pillowcases and all the stuff. And then when that guest came, we had been anticipating their arrival for 2 weeks before they got there. And when they walked in, they stayed in my parents' master bedroom and used the master bath. And my parents slept on a hide-a-bed for a week while this guest was in our home. And we ate the same foods that they loved, and we ate when they was most appropriate for them. And I remember this missionary from Guatemala had never had peppermint chocolate ice cream, and so she wanted to give him a new experience, and he loved it so much the opening night when we had dinner. For breakfast the next morning, she said, "Well, Pastor, is there anything else I can get you?" She made him biscuits and gravy and all this, and he goes, "What's the chance I could have some peppermint chocolate ice cream?" And I was a little kid, about third grade. We were like, "We love this guy, you know, ice cream for every meal." And we did for a solid week. So my mother modeled for me what the difference is between totally not expecting someone to come to the door and anticipation in an arrival of a guest that you have prepared. To me, the church of God's dreams shatters the heart of good, well, regular attenders for people who've never walked through this door. In fact, one author says the church is the only institution of its kind that should be completely motivated by people who've never been a part of it. Imagine how different our churches would be today, your church and mine, if we completely lost the fixation with our eyes on how comfortable we are and what everything is for us, and we gained the insight and perspective of this is for people who've never been here before. So that third session in the afternoon is all about how do we raise the value of people as a body of Christ, and how do we see them, as I referred to in an earlier conference, how do we truly see them as God's way of saying thank you for the ministry you are doing because you are aligning your hearts and your programming with me. I'm going to gift you with more people.